What is up, everybody? This is Brian with the Mustard and Mayo, and this is my, third day of working on the BMW and tracing down misfire problems. Where I last left things, I had thought that I diagnosed misfire with the spark plugs and coil packs. As I said before, and on the next video we'll find out if it worked or not. Well, spoiler alert, plugs and coils did not do it. I actually, I knew it had cylinder 1, potentially cylinder 2 misfires. So what I did was I took everything out, replaced all of the back 4 cylinders with new plugs, new coils. And then on the front 2 cylinders, I reused the best of the 2 plugs that I had from what was taken out, as well as the coils that they were attached to, because they had not had any misfire codes. Put those back in the cylinder, cranked everything up, and sure enough, same problem, reeked of fuel, same misfire, same cylinders, all the same stuff. So everybody who told me it was fuel injectors, you were right. I should have listened to you. I just was a little hesitant to spend $600 on injectors before I was 100% on what they were. Now, I do have injectors ordered, and I believe I have the correct injectors ordered. But what I want to do real quick is just kind of tell you briefly, again, some tips and tricks, in my opinion, on how to best get these injectors out. All right, so of course this is a 2015 BMW M3. It's the F80 chassis. Again, this is the same for the F82, F83, and I think there's the F87, from what I understand. As you can kind of see, the current situation is I have 4 of the injectors out. I still have the back 2 to pull. One of them is actually already loose. The back one's still in there, so I was going to leave that one to try to show you guys what I'm doing and what my tips and tricks are. So where I'd last left things, the big tip and trick on getting to the coil packs and spark plugs was that you do not need to take everything apart with the frickin' intake pipes and the intake filter pipe here. Now, would it be easier to access certain things if they weren't there? Sure, but even now on the third day of me working on this project, I honestly, they've not really gotten in my way. Once you pop them loose and they come off the little grommets down here, they are actually pretty easy to move around if I needed to, and then everything will snap right back together when I'm done. So that was my big tip and trick, especially for getting that plastic tray out. You don't have to take the whole entire freaking assembly apart to take it out if you don't want to. So today's trick is on other videos that I've watched this year. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of videos out there for the S55 M3 injector removal, probably because there's not that many people that have the miles that I do on this car. But the big video that I watched, which is pretty helpful, but it almost stressed me out, was they went through a ton of work to get the heat exchanger or the intercooler off, to get the fuel rail off. There's just so many extra steps, and as you can see here, I have fuel injectors and I still have a heat exchanger all attached. If anything, I've not detached anything related to that. So I did try a trick, because when I was watching the other videos, which there's like 1,000 videos on how to do this on an N20 and an N54 and some others, was on the 4-cylinder variants, you can actually loosen up the fuel rail, which is the piece that obviously goes right up underneath of here, goes underneath the intake, and ends back at the fuel pressure sensor. And you can see all the, there's two more, there's all the different fuel lines that come out of that. On the 4-cylinder engine, it looks like you could kind of release a couple different brackets or loosen them up, and then the fuel rail would spin. So I took an inspection on this. I noticed that there was a couple different fuel lines here at the end, one here up top, which you can see is disconnected, and same thing right here. Both of those were 17 millimeters. I was just able to use just a regular box wrench. They were pretty easy to get off. So I was thinking that if I disconnected all of the fuel lines from the injectors, which were 14 millimeters, and again, with the coil packs back out, there is enough room to get them in there. And again, they don't take a whole lot of pressure to get these things loose. There's not a ton of force behind them. It's much like a brake line or something like that, maybe even less force than a brake line. But anyways, I got all of the injectors loose, at least from the fuel lines, and the glimmer of hope that I was going to be able to move this fuel rail. And as you can see, there's play in it, but it's just not moving. There's just, I think, too many brackets and things like that. So I guess I can kind of understand where everybody was going, or at least a couple videos that I've seen that were trying to help me out, made a big deal to take off the heat exchanger and stuff. to get to the fuel rail. But I was like, you know what? I've worked on enough cars. I'm by no means a BMW technician. I'm by no means, honestly, probably not even qualified to make this video. So I'll go ahead and make that disclaimer. But I've worked on enough cars, you know, there's usually enough give and take on most of these things to allow access to things. And as you can see, especially with everything disconnected, there's actually a decent amount of wiggle room with these fuel lines. So I was like, all right, I think what I could do is once these are disconnected, I could probably get the injectors out. So let me show you something real quick. The only thing that holds these injectors in are these 3 brackets you can see right here in my parts bin. They have this bracket, which basically sits in this orientation if you're looking at it from the passenger side fender. You have 1 bolt with a stud on it that you can see here. I'm sorry, it doesn't have a stud on it, but you just have 1 bolt. It's a longer 10mm bolt, comes out pretty easily. And then right here you have a nut and a bolt. So you have this small 8mm nut, and that holds down, I'm assuming, the ground wire. And then you underneath of that you have a 10mm bolt, which comes out as well. And both of those come out from this section. Now these 2 squares are where the fuel injectors will actually align themselves. So they sit in there. So once you have the fuel rail or the fuel lines disconnected, as well as the 3 nuts and bolts here, these brackets pretty much slide out. Now, I mean, I am going to clean these up. So if you're looking at these like, holy shit, those are rusty, they're good on the other side. So before I put them back in, I am going to scuff these up and make them look nice again. But anywho, getting back to the point of the video. So as you can see, all the brackets are out. There's no difference in them. Again, I had no clearance problems working in them. So next was to actually get the injectors out. Now, there's like a few different tools out there. People complain about some of the tools suck, and normally this is the reason why you have to get the fuel rail off, because they want you to basically take these injectors and bolt down a puller to 2 injectors, because they're set up in pairs. Put 2 of them on there, thread them on there, and then you have 1 other nut or bolt that lines up on this lower section here, and that's what kind of secures the puller. And then you basically use a little bit of tension, a little bit of force, a little bit of twist on each of the left and right injectors, and eventually it pries them out. I've seen that one. I watched another video for an N20 where it was a really cool snap-on, almost like a plunger, if you will. It just basically threaded right onto here, and it just had like a little slide hammer, so you could just slide and pop these things out. So in all reality, what I was looking at with these videos is that there's no special trick to getting these out of the cylinders. They just are held in with pressure, and oh gosh, look how crusty that is. You should see some of the other ones. But they're held in with pressure, and I'm sure some of these can get rusted and stuck. Mine has 140,000 miles, and while these are nasty injectors, I've not had any problems getting them out. So here is my trick with the fuel rail intact. Now, if you're a BMW technician and you're watching this video, I'm very sorry. You're probably going to hate everything that I'm about to say. So again, I will go ahead and just say this is my advice. If you break something, it's not my fault. If I break something, it is my fault. Is that fair? All right. So as you can see, everything is out of everything except for the last 2. And again, those last 2 I just need to pull. So if we inspect the fuel injector itself, you can see this is that square, I don't even know what you call it, but it's just the head of the fuel injector that fits in with the bracket. Now you can kind of see from this one, from some bite marks and some teeth marks. I did just try to grab like some pliers, because all of these are getting replaced. So all of these are coming out. So I was like, you know what, maybe I can just grab onto this square with some pliers and just pull. That wasn't really getting me anywhere, but then I looked at it and I said, man, there's this huge fat lip underneath of this. I bet I could probably get a pry tool underneath of that, like a plastic pry tool like you'd use for clips. So I tried that. The plastic pry tool obviously didn't have enough strength behind it. So then I upgraded to this tool that I've had for a long time, and I imagine you could do it with something else. I have no clue what you'd call this. It's kind of like a chisel pry tool thing. I don't know. I use it as a pry tool. Not all that often. Whatever this thing is, Craftsman, whatever this thing. I've probably had this for eons. I don't even know if they make this thing anymore, but there's versions of this, I'm sure, all over the place. There's a name for it. If you know what it is, put it in the comments. But anywho, as you can see, and you already know where I'm going, so somebody's already got their hands over their face, but I used this tool, and you can use a rag. I had some paper towels out here earlier, but you can use a rag to basically insulate the bottom of the curved part here so you don't, I don't know, scratch anything. All this stuff's pretty durable in here though. But I was able to basically stick the pry tool down here, hook it up underneath that flat piece, and then just honestly with not a whole lot of pressure and leverage, I was able to just basically pop them and get the pressure to release right out of that cylinder. And then once that was loose, I did that for all these first 4. Then I was able to just kind of grab just some regular pliers, some needle nose, whatever, just to get in there and grab the injector. That way I could move the fuel line out of the way enough just to slide it past. And you can see there's plenty of room. I'm not bending anything. It's just play. Especially, I will say, when these are all disconnected, there's a little bit more wiggle room. I really didn't need to probably disconnect these 2, so you don't have to do that. That was me trying things. But anywho, there was enough play. So what I'm going to show you is, as you can see back here, let me see if I can maybe get a light on. There we go. That's cooking with gas. So as you can see back here, we still have the 2 injectors in here. And you can see this one is disconnected. And I'm going to try, this probably is not going to work all that well. I'm going to try to grab the pliers and do this one-handed. God help me here. This is a pain in the butt to try to do with a video. So you can see I'm just going to take it on here, grab it, pull out, and then you're probably going to go out of frame for a second. But if I can move the fuel line out of the way and hold a camera, gosh, this is tricky. This, oh God, the lengths you go to for a YouTube video, man, it's just insane. There we go. So you just kind of wiggle it out, and then there's the injector. So I'll go ahead and lay that in here with the other ones. So that would mean the last thing I need to do is to show you my pry tool method. So again, you basically use the spark plug cylinder well for your leverage point. So again, if you want to take a rag or something like that, if you're freaked out about it, do that. You can see I'm just going to use that against it here. So again, we're going to try to do this in film, which generally doesn't go well. So let me try a different angle. All right, I have switched hands so I could reverse the camera. So again, we'll stick this down here just to give it a little bit of padding. And then we will take the long flat end of the pry tool. You can see it fits really well down in between the spark plug well and the injector itself. You can see I now have it hooked. You can see it moving around. So again, just with a little bit of leverage, that was all it took. I don't know if you even heard anything, but you might have seen it move, but that's all it took to get that loose. So really not a whole lot of pressure. And you can see, again, I can move the fuel line out of the way. We're gonna make another attempt at this, and I'm just gonna embarrass myself if I haven't done so already by my tactics here. All right, apparently I stopped recording there. So right as I was about to pull the thing out. So again, you see all 6 injectors are now out. I did not need any special tools, minus that one little pry tool, which I think you can get away with just about any type of pry tool. I did not need a BMW tool. I did not need a tool from Amazon or from any of these other places that make the knockoff versions. I was able to get them out pretty easily. And then to get them back in, when the new ones come in, I am hoping that I have the coding matched up. So we'll see if I learn my lesson on that. As you can see, they're all code 215, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to get them programmed. Here are the tips of mine, and you can see they are pretty gross. Some of them worse than others. So, oh, look at the carbon buildup on this one. Nice, the last one I pulled. But these are all going to get replaced. All 6 of them are coming out. All 6 new ones are going in. So I can't imagine with 6 new injectors, 6 new spark plugs, and 6 new coil packs that I should have any problems anymore with the misfires, especially up here in the cylinder 1 land. But there is a decoupler is what they call it. It's this little washer piece that's on the end here. Some kits will come with these. If you're buying them individually, you just need to make sure they do come with it, because I'm not sure if you can or even should reuse those. So I have 6 new ones with 60 couplers, and they already have little O-rings and everything on them. So yeah, that is it. Next time I hopefully see you guys, we will have this thing back together and running just to find out if everything works as planned.